Hello friends, today in this video, we are going to discuss about the Foundry technologies. Foundry, it is the technology of producing metal castings. Do you know how metal casting is produced? First of all, we have to melt the metal in a furnace. Pour the molten metal into a mold. When the mold cools, the metal solidifies. Now, remove the casting from the mold. After removing the mold material, clean the casting. Aluminium and cast iron are the most common metals used for casting. However, brass, bronze, steel, zinc are also used. Before casting a metal, we have to prepare its model, which is called the pattern. Using this pattern, we will prepare the mold. The quality and accuracy of casting depends on this pattern. We can use wood, metal, plastic, plaster, or wax for making patterns. It is made larger than the casting size. It is because, when metal solidifies, it undergoes contraction. In order to resolve that, we will provide some allowances. These are the allowances. First one. Shrinkage or contraction allowances. Various metals contracts after solidification in the mold. And its rate is different for different metals. Based on the metal used, we will provide this allowance. The table shows the values of the allowances provided for some metals. If metal pattern is used instead of wood, we will provide double allowances. Second one. Draft allowances. It is a taper given to the vertical walls of a pattern for easy and clean withdrawal. By providing that, we can remove patterns without damaging the mold. Finishing allowance. This is provided for castings, which is to be machined. Based on shape, size, machining method, the allowance varies. Ferrous metals need more machining allowance. Camera allowance. The castings, with non-uniform contraction, is to be provided with camera distortion allowance. Wrapping allowances. Before removing the pattern, it undergoes wrapping in the mold. To compensate this, wrapping or shaking allowance is given. Types of pattern. Solid or single-piece pattern. It is the simplest form of a pattern. Made without any joints, partings are loose pieces in its construction. It is inexpensive and generally used for large castings of simple shape. Split pattern. This pattern type is used for making castings, having intricate details. It is split along the parting surface. One half of the pattern is molded in drag and the other half in coat box. The two halves of pattern must be aligned properly by making use of dowel pins. Match plate pattern. In the match plate pattern, each half of the patterns are mounted on opposite sides of a plate, called a match plate. The gates and runner are also attached to the plate. Both sides of the patterns are fastened. The material used to make the pattern is metal. Sweep pattern. This pattern is used for large castings of circular sections and symmetrical shapes. A sweep pattern consists of a wooden board with the outer contour similar to the castings form. The wooden board is fixed to a metal rod and rotated about the metal rod as the axis of rotation for getting a complete mold cavity. Gated pattern. When a large number of small castings are required, gated patterns are used. Loose piece pattern. This pattern is provided with loose pieces which are used to make easier for the withdrawal of the pattern from the mold. Here loose pieces A and B are removed separately by turning or moving the loose pieces through the mold cavity formed after the main pattern has been removed. Follow board pattern. Follow board pattern is used for casting which has some structurally weak portions which need some support for avoiding breakage during the molding process. Hence these weak portions are supported by means of a board that will closely fit the contour of the weak pattern. Shell patterns are widely used for large symmetrical castings such as drainage fittings and pipes. The shell pattern consists of hollow construction. The outside contour is used as a pattern to form the mold. The shell pattern is made of two halves which are correctly aligned together by dowel pins. The shell pattern is usually made of metals. Skeleton pattern. The pattern is the skeleton of the desired shape. Skeleton is made from wooden strips and is filled with loam sand rammed. This pattern is used for large castings such as turbine housings which have hollow construction. If we go for a solid pattern to manufacture casting of hollow construction, we are ended with the heaviest pattern which would be difficult to handle by a single operator. So what we do, we manufacture a hollow pattern